Hey, so we're at the Postons building downtown Mineral Wells, and I've got Kelly North from Red Oak. And Kelly has a deep interest in mineral wells and history and has documented a lot of it and finds and collects a lot of items about mineral wells history. And so today she's brought over some recent finds. Kelly, can you tell us what you brought over and what you're donating?
I brought a couple of panoramic images. Got one here from West Mountain, which is West Mountain facing east. It's a panoramic image done in 1906. This one's not original. Over there is one from East Mountain looking west. It's also not original, it's just a copy. But then we've got an original here that I actually found on eBay. This was done in 1911 at the Woodmen of the World Convention. And none of these buildings, unfortunately, exist anymore. Here's the Crazy Whale Water Company, which was part of the first Crazy Hotel. They built this building here, which had a pavilion, a water pavilion on the first floor, and rooms on the second floor. And then, of course, they also built two square buildings at a later date that housed the hotel. And then here you can see the Lithia Drug Company, which was in the same block. And then the W.E. Mays building with the Clark's Pharmacy here, and the Mineral Wells Sanitarium. And then you can see the Presbyterian Church with the dome. This one's no longer here either. The Star House, which was a boarding house or hotel, as they called them then. And then the livery, and then this is Green's Cottage, which Mr. Green had a livery. And this block here where the Crazy, they call it the Crazy Flats, it all burned down. This is the block that burned down in 1925, and then they rebuilt and put what is now the Crazy Hotel there.
The current hotel.
Yeah, the current hotel.
And this is about 1925, we think?
1911. Oh, the current hotel?
This one, yeah.
Oh, this picture's 1911.
Oh, 1911.
That's when they had the Woodmen of the World Convention.
Women of the World Convention.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's a photograph by Mr. Young. It's got his stamp on here, Young Studio.
But you'd have to explain who Mr. Young
Oh,
is.
Mr. Young, he was a photographer that took pictures of the donkey parties that went up the mountain.
Yes.
And he took pictures he and his wife actually worked together, and they took pictures of people. There was a little cabin up there at the junction of the walking trail and the donkey trail, and they would take pictures of people at the cabin.
Wow, amazing. And you've documented so much of downtown, the buildings, the history. Tell us about your interest in mineral wells history.
I actually started doing a Texas history blog, and I'm actually following a man's book. His name is Ray Miller, and he wrote a series of books. And he passed away, I think, in the 70s. And I picked up some of his books, and I decided I was going to kind of follow what he did, take a different region of Texas and just kind of go to all the cities that he listed in his book. And Mineral Wells was the one listed in Palo Pinto. And actually, wasn't even going to start with Palo Pinto. The day that I headed out I was going to go to East Texas, but there was a storm developing in that area, so I just said, you know what, I think I'll just start with Palo Pinto. And I came to Palo Pinto, and
The rest is history.
the rest is history. I was just going to write a quick precursory history of it, but then the more and more I got into it, the more and more fascinated I was with the history. And I just thought, where are all these buildings? Where's the Lithia Pavilion and the Texas Carlsbad Pavilion and the Hawthorne Well Pavilion? What happened to those? Where are they? There wasn't any trace just walking around, so I actually got in touch with Palin Bree at the Boyce Ditto Library, and she told me about the Sanborn maps that are on the portal to Texas history, and I just pulled up those maps and started piecing together a map. And I was just going to use it for my own research purposes, but I ended up doing a walking tour map. So hopefully the city will be able to do something with that and create a walking tour map so that when people come, they can walk around and see, you know, they may not see the buildings because so many of them are gone, but they can see where they were and read the history.
I understand maybe not even just a walking tour, but maybe some interactive walking tour aspects
Yes,
of it too.
that would be great. Yeah, I'm actually working on another blog that's just for mineral wells. And the first thing I'm going to post on there is my own interactive walking tour, which will have the pictures and a little text. But I understand the city's going to go even further, hopefully, and do something even more detailed than mine. Mine's just going to be a blog you have to pull up and read, but hopefully theirs will have little QR codes or something. And it would be great if there were plaques on the walls. You know, in Waxahachie, some of the buildings are gone, but they actually have a plaque on the wall explaining this spot on such and such date. You know, the Opera House was here, and they explain what happened to the Opera House. So, you know, just because a building's gone doesn't mean that you can't put something up with a picture on it and say, you know, here it was. This is
Especially for a
what it
city
was.
that has such deep history, but wasn't able to keep a lot of the history.
Yeah.
And didn't keep a lot of the history. And
Yeah, a lot of it was unfortunately because of fires, but there were other times when the buildings were just, you know, they were demolished.
right. So
So,
this will help us preserve a lot of our history. So thank you for your interest and for sharing your finds with us. And we look forward to the walking tour.
appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Kelly.